I'm ready. Our mission. Helping Parents Heal is a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting bereaved parents. Through support and resources offered, we aspire to help individuals become shining light parents, meaning a shift from a state of emotional heaviness to one of hopefulness and greater peace of mind. Helping Parents Heal goes a step beyond other groups by allowing the open discussion of spiritual experiences and afterlife evidence in a non-dogmatic way. Helping Parents Heal affiliate groups welcome everyone, regardless of religious or non-religious background, and encourage open dialogue. Attendance at all Helping Parents Heal meetings is voluntary. All discussions that take place at affiliate-led meetings are confidential. We hope that participants will learn from and share with each other. Zoom meetings run by leadership are not confidential. These meetings typically feature guest presenters and are posted on YouTube so that affiliate members worldwide can watch and benefit. Neither type of Helping Parents Heal meeting is designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. Helping Parents Heal offers a wide variety of speakers, allowing parents to learn about many possible ways to heal. This includes presenters covering progressive topics such as afterlife evidence and connecting with our children who have passed. The views expressed by our guest speakers may or may not reflect the opinions of Helping Parents Heal leaders and members, so we ask that you take from their presentations whatever may benefit you personally. Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to be here, and thank you, Christine, for being here.
Yes, thank you, Christine. And we're thrilled to have all of you here. Please write in the chat box where you're from, if you are a caring listener, if you are an affiliate leader or a board member, so that we can recognize you. And I'll read a very short bio for Christine. Christine Salter is a psychic medium, spiritual teacher, and energy healer who works in the loving service of the divine. Christine developed her natural gifts as a psychic medium and healer as an adult after being immersed in a holistic healing school. She was contacted by the angels in 2004 and learned to channel and heal with them. As she continued to expand her gifts, it became clear that her soul's mission was to come forth as a medium and to help people connect with loved ones in spirit and heal the trauma that they may be carrying. Christine is an evidentiary medium and an angel messenger who helps people heal their lives and reclaim the light that was dimmed by the passing of a loved one. She's also she's a psychic medium, angel healer, Reiki Master, angel coach, angel therapy practitioner, holistic healthcare practitioner. And you can learn more about her by visiting her website at www.christinesalter.com. And without further ado, please join me in welcoming Christine Salter. Welcome, Christine.
Oh, thank you. I'm always, and I say this every single time, but what an amazing organization the Helping Parents Heal is. And to have spirit connect me with parents, even though I don't have a child in spirit, and walk this sacred path with all of you is just, it just touches my heart, because I know that you guys are in a lot of pain and you're also on a spiritual journey, and your kids are trying to reach across that veil as you're reaching across to meet them. And it's probably one of the most important spiritual paths you're ever going to take. So anytime I'm invited to come speak, connect with Elizabeth or Irene, or even the conference, which I hope if you guys are going to be there and you see me, just walk right up and say, hey, Christine, introduce yourselves. I just love to sit and chat and visit, etc. So if you see me, please by all means come up and say hi. So today, we're all around the world, we're everywhere, right? So I really want to help you connect with your kids, because to me, that's what it's all about, right? Healing, connecting, healing, growing. But I want to start out with a couple of new things that I've learned that I really love that I want to share with you guys. Pardon my watery eye. Sorry about that. At least the kids aren't making my nose itch yet. I'm in a clinical EFT tapping program and working on learning how to unwrap trauma and heal it and move through it. And so it's fascinating to me how when we have some sort of trauma, how it's stored in the body, how our nervous system is responding to it. And I have a couple really easy things for you guys to be able to check in with yourselves to see if, like, kind of what state are you in? Are you in fight or flight? How many of you guys feel like you're in fight or flight, like constantly, like high alert, maybe waiting for that shoe to drop, or a lot of anxiety, etc.? That's a state that a lot of us get into, but we also have our rest and digest, or our parasympathetic nervous system, where we can actually get quiet. It'll help us connect in with the kids better. It'll help us meditate more. It'll help us be more grounded, more centered, more present. So we can look for the signs. We can notice that what the kids or your other loved ones, because I'm sure they're all working together to connect with you. Being in a more quiet, peaceful state is definitely going to help you. I had someone touching my head, don't mind me. It looks like I have bugs, or it feels like I have bugs. And so I always know someone's here when they're like tingling my head. So while I'm doing this, if you guys all of a sudden are like, oh gosh, what's that? That's going to be your loved ones, I'll tell you right now. So I want to help you learn how to check in with your own body, to see kind of what state you're in, and then how to get into a quick state of relaxation instead of having to do like a 30-minute meditation to then prepare and get ready to meet with your kids, because I really like easy spirituality. And if there's something that we can do that's quick and then we can just get to it, then I'm all for that. So I want you all to go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to do a little meditation. So hopefully everybody's in a quiet place. And if you have a pen and paper handy, that would be a bonus. If you don't, it's totally okay. This is being recorded and you can come back and write. So I want you to close your eyes. So take a nice, slow, deep breath in. And just kind of let it out. We're going to be using our imagination during this little meditation practice, because our imagination is how our intuition comes in. It's how we connect with our kids. And so it comes in, and yeah, I want your eyes to still be closed. And you're seeing, you're feeling, you're hearing, and you're knowing. I like to call it my spidey senses. And so when I say we're going to use our spidey senses, that's what I mean. So sitting here in this quiet space that you're in already, I'm going to ask you to do something a little strange. I want you to feel into your mouth and notice where your tongue is right now. Is it pressing against the roof of your mouth? Is it pressing against your teeth? Are you kind of sucking on it and not realizing it? Chances are good that's probably the case. And so what I want you to do is I want you to just let your jaw drop open a little bit. And I want you to relax your tongue on the bottom of your mouth. Now, this may feel strange because we usually aren't trying to relax the inside of our mouth. Maybe we're trying to do our shoulders or our neck. And I want you just to keep your tongue nice and soft and relaxed. So we're going to take in another slow, deep breath. So nice breath in, nice and slow. And let it out. Trying to stay somewhat focused, relaxing your tongue, breathing in. And breathe out. On your next breath in, I want you to imagine you can breathe in through your heart. So take a nice breath in, breathing in through your heart. And then breathing out through your heart. Check back in on your tongue. Make sure your tongue is nice and relaxed. Breathing in through your heart. And breathing out through your heart. This is your superpower, your super center. Breathing in one more time and through your heart. And on your out breath, I want you to breathe love out of your heart out into the room. We're going to start to fill up the space you're in with your own heart energy. So breathing in, tongue nice and relaxed. And breathe out into the room, breathing out through your heart. Imagine using your spidey senses. What color is this energy? First thing that comes to mind is the right answer. Breathing in nice and slow through your heart. And sending love out into the room. One more time, nice, slow, deep breath in. Through the heart, out through the heart. Check back in on your tongue one more time. Make sure it's just laying nice and relaxed in the floor of your mouth. Using your spidey senses, I want you to imagine that you can feel the top of your head. Using your intuition, just notice, what does the top of your head feel like? Is it tense? Is it tight? Is it itching and tingling? And we're not judging, we're just noticing. What does that feel like? Okay, feeling a little tense, maybe somebody has a headache. All right, moving down to our neck. We're just gonna feel into our neck. We're just feeling this kind of subtle energy that we're not always connected to ourselves. And so we're just getting back into our body. We're just kind of feeling what we really have going on. If you feel inclined and you want to move your neck around a little bit, you can. If you want to stretch it out, I want to do some little circles, bringing it forward, around, not around backwards, but around forward is good. Noticing your neck. I'll bring our awareness to our shoulders, where we like to carry the weight of the world. I want you just to feel into your shoulders, totally using your imagination. How does it feel? Does it feel like you have something sitting on you, weighing you down? Does it feel nice and light? Is there some tension there? Just what do you notice? Now, to move some of that energy out, I want you to bring your shoulders up to your ears and squeeze and drop them. And one more time, we're going to bring them up and squeeze and drop them. And I want you to pull your shoulder blades together, pull your shoulders back. And I want you to wiggle your fingers at the same time. Kind of look like we're playing a piano a little bit. And then let it go. And we're going to pull our shoulders back one more time, squeezing between our shoulder blades. You can wiggle your fingers, shake your hands a little bit, and then relax your shoulders. Might all of a sudden feel like you want to move around a little bit, and that's okay. What we're doing is we're giving any energy that's ready to go a pathway out of the body, so we're not carrying so much around. Tap back into your tongue. Notice if your tongue has changed while we're starting to feel ourselves. If it has, just relax it again on the floor of your mouth. Bringing your awareness to your chest. How does your chest feel? And if tears start coming up, that's okay. You just cry and let those move right through you. How does your chest feel? Does it feel stuck or stagnant or heavy? Feel light and flowing? That would be lovely too. And just whatever you notice. And I'm going to have you cough. So we're going to cough. And one more time, we're going to cough again. Now bring your awareness to your chest again. See if there has been a change. See if anything lightened up after you coughed. It's just another way to move some energy out that I know gets really stuck in our bodies sometimes. Now we're going to bring our spidey senses to our back and just notice your back, your upper back. See if you notice anything there. And we're just not even judging. It's like, oh, okay, it feels pretty good back there. Or maybe it's a little tight. That's okay. Bringing your awareness to your low back now. We're just getting in touch with our physical bodies right now. Getting back inside our physical body. And you may not feel anything at your back. You might feel some tension. You want to just move just a little bit with the intention of moving that energy out just by moving a little bit. And bringing your awareness now to your abdomen. What does that feel right now? I tuned into mine and I wanted to take a nice deep breath. Does it feel soft and flowing? Is it stuck? Is it heavy? Are there butterflies? Just whatever you notice. And I'm going to have you just take a deep breath down into your abdomen. Your kids are being so patient. I greatly appreciate them. I tap into you guys and feel them. They're just waiting. Now I want you to imagine, however this comes to you, that the bottom of each of your feet can open up. So even if it seems totally out there, that's okay. I want you to feel down the energy of your right leg. So working on your upper leg, your thigh. See if you notice anything there. Does it feel heavy or stuck or flowing or light, or Christine, don't feel anything, and that's awesome. Feel your lower leg. Feel your foot. Parts of your body might start talking that you didn't even know had something going on there, and that's okay. We're just bringing it into our awareness. And we're going to check our left leg, our left thigh, our knee, where we like to store lots of stuff, emotional, our lower leg, and down to our foot. Now, using your imagination, I want you to breathe in some beautiful emerald green light down through the top of your head. So you're going to breathe in, and as you do, you're going to draw it down into the top of your head. And we're going to intend that this energy is going to connect with our nervous system. And wherever the energy touches, it's just going to relax us. So as we breathe it down into our brain, we're relaxing our brain. Breathing it down into our face and all of our nerves and all of our muscles. Breathing it down our spine and all the little nerve bundles that come off and nurture our organs and our lungs, our muscles and our skin. Letting it come down into our neck, into our chest. Becoming a beautiful, green, vibrant, emerald being. Allowing it just to flow down your arms. And whatever the light is touching, it's transmuting the energy. It's picking up anything that's ready to go. And we're just going to let it go. And if at some point down the road you want to pick up any energy that you have put down, you are free to. But in this moment, I'll ask you to just let things go. Watching the energy pour down out your fingertips and out of your palms, moving into your abdomen, and pouring down your legs and out the bottom of your feet, where you made holes that you didn't even know you had. Allowing this energy like a green waterfall just to move through you gently, effortlessly. All you have to do is be open to the healing energy moving through you. Let it carry some of the grief away. Let it carry some of the anxiety away. Let it move some of that heaviness. Let it take your coulda, shoulda, wouldas, just for now. And the sadness. And we're just going to let some light in. It happens to be green light. We're going to move that light also out into the energy around you, into your aura field. Cleansing and clearing any psychic debris you may have picked up. Asking this light to cut any cords that may have attached to you or you attached to others. cocooning you in a beautiful green light, nourishing your soul, nourishing your inner light, bringing your awareness as this green light is moving through you. Bring your awareness to your very core, your very center. And I want you to notice and look around if you need for your own light within you. And it might be this little tiny baby pilot light. That's the spark of your soul, and everybody has it. And when you make contact with it, when you notice it, notice the color that it is. Whatever comes to mind is perfect. I want you to turn your light back up. Your soul knows how to do it. I want you just to visualize it just gets a little bit bigger. And some of you may already notice that it's filling up your whole abdomen. And others might have to turn it up a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. This is your inner light. Though it may seem like it was turned off, it's always there anyway, even if we can't see it, even if we can't see it in the darkness or the heaviness. Right now, you're connecting with it. This is your soul. Turn it all the way up. Let's see how big it gets inside of you. It might just fill your abdomen. It might fill your whole torso. You are a soul. You are an amazing divine being having an earth experience. You are stronger than you know. Allow it to fill up your whole entire body. If you can, don't force it, just allow. Until you're vibrating the color that is your soul. Still cocooned in the green light. And as you start to raise your vibration back to the higher frequency, that's your soul, I want you to ask your loved ones to come in, particularly who you want to talk to the most. I know some of you have multiple children in spirit. So for now, we're just going to pick one. Ask them to come into the room with you. As you're floating in this beautiful green cocoon and shining brightly who you really are. Using your spidey senses in this nice quiet state that you're in. Allow it to come to your awareness. Where is your child? Where are they at in the room as they've come in? You may feel like you're completely making it up, and that's okay. We're just going to trust ourselves in this process. I'm going to have you ask them to come stand behind you. And it doesn't matter if you're against a wall or if it seems like there's no way they can stand there, they can. Ask them to stand behind you. Stay nice and relaxed. And even if tears are starting to come up, that's okay. Ask them to put their hands on your shoulder. And I want you to look for and feel for a touch, a tap, a tingle, a vibration, heat, static electricity. It may feel like bugs are crawling on you. They might touch the top of your head instead of your shoulders. You may feel a hand on your face. Even if you haven't had the experience before, I want you just to continue to breathe softly, staying in this quiet space, and just notice. Allowing yourself to have this experience. If it really makes you cry, that's okay. Ask them, those of you that are already feeling it, ask them to give you a hug and see if you can feel their arms come around you. Like somebody's head is being stroked, because my head is being stroked right now, so I have to say it. And if you get a glimpse in your mind's eye of what this looks like, that's you seeing them psychically. You're seeing it happen in this very moment. Because here's the truth. We can all do this. Just because I'm a medium doesn't mean everybody else isn't a medium. Everybody can communicate and feel. It's just a matter of learning how. So ask your kids now, all right, turn it up. Turn it up so strong I can't possibly miss it. And then your job is just to feel, not to try to make it happen. I'm looking to see whose head starts to itch because they know they're going to do it. Itching and touching and scratching. See if you can feel that hug. And I will say this too, if you haven't felt it, it does not mean that they're not there. It's just continuing to learn how to feel subtle energy. You might even hear them in your mind right now say something to you. Coming across exactly as they were when they were here in the physical, they're still the same. And take a nice deep breath in. Those of you that are feeling your kids, every parent I talk to says, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to ask you to do it anyway because I want to show you something. So those of you that are really feeling the touch, the tingle, the tap, the heat, the vibration, the bugs crawling on you, feeling static electricity, I want you to ask your kids to step back and pull their energy back. And everybody's like, I don't want to, Christine. They're going to come right back. But I want to show you that you're actually feeling it. So ask them to step back. And you may feel their energy, it just kind of stops. They're not going anywhere, I promise. And now, ask them to come forward again and make it really strong. Because our little ego loves to doubt stuff. We think we're making it up. But when you can feel that energy and it backs away and then they come forward again, it's kind of hard to argue it. So they make it so strong I can't possibly miss it. And someone's getting real hot. I don't know who it is, but I have that feeling. Right? Energy. We're feeling energy. That's what we're playing with right now. And if you want to get fancy, you can say, okay, touch my right hand. Ask them to move around, those of you that are feeling it. And if you're not feeling it, I want you just to continue to breathe. The message that someone's hands are on fire. Yep. If you're not feeling your kids at the moment, I want you to send some more green light through you and down your feet. And if there's any change, all itchy and tingly now, I love it. If there's any change at all, I want you to go, that's it. I feel you. I want you just to own it. Even if there's part of you like, I don't know, I just want you to own it because then we can build on that. Perfect. Head got hot in my right shoulder. Feels like finger taps on your forehead. Excellent. And I promise you, the kids think this is just as cool as you do. They love it. They love for you to feel them because that's part of what the missing is being able to feel them. You can ask them to touch your left shoulder or touch your left hand. You can ask them to move around a little bit. These hands and face are itching. Love it. And if you are not sure, or if you're real skeptical, I'm just going to ask you to help your kid and just set that aside and allow yourself to have an experience right now. Because when we're real skeptical and it's like, I will believe it when I see it, you're just putting a wall up and it makes it harder for your child to get through and it prolongs your own pain. So if you're super skeptical, you can pick it right up as soon as we're done. And I'm just asking you to set that aside and just see what you notice. And sometimes this can be hard for people because it makes it more real that their child is in spirit. Not that it's not real. I understand that. But when you can start to feel it, it brings up more emotion. So sometimes people can block that a little bit. Oh, nice job, everyone. Nice job letting your kids in, allowing yourself to have the experience, allowing yourself to feel and feel your kids because they are ever present, cheerleading you on, rooting you on, and they love this. And I would love for you to continue to practice with this. Just, okay, let me feel you, step away, let me feel you, and continue playing with that. Nice. All right, so I'm going to have you. We're just going to stay in this nice, quiet space right now. I don't want your thoughts to go running off with you just yet. I want you now to take your pen and paper if you have it. And if you don't, that's okay. I'll give you a little assignment too. Take your pen and paper with your child behind you. Say their names a few times in your head to open up your hearing and staying quiet and open. And here's my instructions. You are the secretary and you're going to take a letter from them. It's not your job to judge what they say or try to make sense. You're just going to be the secretary and write it down. I want you to literally write out, dear blank, whatever their name is. What do you want me to know? Whatever comes in right after that, you just write it out, even if it doesn't make sense. And make sure you open your eyes and you look at the paper and write. And if you get something like, it doesn't quite make sense, then ask them a question about it. Somebody stated that they got the letter V, then I would say, and tell me more about that. And then just listen. You can come in as a picture, a thought, a word, a whole story. Just write it down, whatever it is. If you find you get a little frustrated, I want you to write that out. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm not getting anything. Whatever's going on in your head, just write it out. And then it's like another line of energy will come in and you can follow that. What do they want you to know? And if it feels like it just kind of stops, and if you have a question for them, write out the question, stay open to whatever the answer might be, because you're not answering for them, and just allow it to come in. I don't know who this is for, but I have the sense of other family members trying to come through. So if you want to just think of them and think of their name, you can ask them what they want to say, and it's just like making another phone call. And also, a soul is a soul. So if your child passed while they were still in utero, or they were 65 or 70 or whatever, they're still a soul. So it doesn't matter if they wouldn't have known how to write or how to communicate, their soul, they know how. So put that aside if you have those thoughts going on. And someone's getting a pet. I don't know who that is, but pets can come in too. And you can ask them and anything else. Or maybe you have a life decision. There's any kind of a number of questions you can ask them and be your life coach in a sense. Some good messages coming in from the kids. I want you to ask them. I know that we have normal signs that they send you all the time. Ask them what they're going to send you special this week. And just allow it to come into your awareness. Even if you totally feel like you're making it up, it's okay. I love to hear what they're sending. That's fun. Just reading the notes here, people saying what their children are sending. It's fun. Always so different. Blue peacocks and orange popsicles. Yes. Now we don't know how these are going to come, and it's not our job to figure that out. It is their job to bring it across your path, and it's your job to be aware of what's going on, be present in your body, be grounded, and then when you notice it, acknowledge it. So then they can send more, because for them it's a fun game. It's like Easter is like an Easter egg hunt. Like, okay, I have this thing set up for them. can't wait for them to find it because it raises your spirit and your energy, and it helps you feel loved and connected. And it's a lot of fun for them. Love it. All right. I would ask them one more thing. Just, is there anything else that you need to know tonight from them? Allow it to come into your awareness. And even that's a whole page of I love you. That's perfect. Just write it out. Ooh, be ready. I would ask, is there any more insight about that comment from them? So if they say something and it's like, I don't quite understand, I want you just to ask, say, tell me a little bit more about it and see if you can get more. Just like if you were sitting and talking to your child and they wouldn't look at you and just say, be ready. He'd be like, what the heck does that mean? What does that mean? So you can ask, give me more insight about it. And every time you can write pages and pages and pages with them. And eventually, and I'm sure a lot of you are probably already there, you can have telepathic communication in your mind with them. And you can go to the store and they can make a joke and you're laughing, walking down the aisle, and people are like, what in the world is going on with you? But you can continue a relationship. You can have new memories with them. If they were funny, they're still funny. If they're sarcastic, I guarantee you they're still sarcastic. They show up how you would recognize them. And this practice is a really good way to continue to grow your channel. So this is channeling, talking to spirit, bringing through messages is channeling. You can shift gears and talk to Archangel Michael or talk to your guide. It all works the exact same way. So if some of you are like, how do I talk to my guides? There you go. This is exactly how it works. You get quiet, ask for a high level guide to come in, and then ask them what they want to say and start a conversation with them. Like I said in the beginning, I like to keep spirituality and communication simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. So I wanted to leave room at the end to answer questions or share or however, whatever our souls want to do. Your children are not going to go anywhere. They're going to continue to stand right behind you or next to you or on you or whatever it is that they're doing. Around his shoulders, what have you. And I wasn't able to look at all the pages to see how everybody was doing. And so I did want to see if there's any questions that maybe I could answer when it comes to the channeling or the automatic writing. That's what this is called. I'll let Elizabeth manage.
Well, it's interesting because we have mostly just people telling about their communication with their kids. And I think this is wonderful. But one of the things that I wanted to just let people know, and I know it's in your bio, but I don't know if people really hear this when I say it. You did not have this gift when you were born, or you did have the gift, but you did not develop it until later in life. Could you maybe just tell us a little bit about that? Because this is something that's so important to all of us to be able to understand that this is accessible to all of us.
Yeah, for me, I think it's an important part of my story as a medium and a spiritual teacher. First, I just need to say, I don't think of as this isn't a gift. This is an ability that every single person has. So my growing up, I didn't see spirit, hear spirit, know anything about being a healer or any of that. It wasn't until I developed asthma as a young adult. And so I went in search of like alternative healing to figure out why, where did this come from and why. And it led me on a journey to go to my healing school, which was Southwest Institute of the Healing Arts. Like, it was all divinely placed in front of me. And then within a few years of that, that's when I came into contact with the angels. I was in school and I learned how to kind of be spirit led. And I went to a bookstore and there's a book on angels that I was so drawn to. And within a few days, I was given oracle cards, and it was Archangel Michael was the card that I drew. And I'm like, God, I just learned about him like last week. This is really interesting. And then I just kind of opened up from there. But I was about 26. So a little more than 20 years ago, that I really started learning about energy healing and this whole entire world. And so just because you haven't been talking to grandma since you were 3 doesn't mean anything. Everybody has the ability. Everybody has the ability. We all have intuition, right? We might get up maybe a premonition or a picture in our mind, or our stomach gets tight and we just know, or we have that knowing of, like, oh, thank you. See, my spiritual concierge puts ideas in my head. You get a phone call and you're like, oh, I was just thinking about you. That's interesting. Like, everybody has those abilities. And this is really, in my opinion, just taking it one step further and really learning how to get quiet, move ourselves out of the way, and enhance the conversations we're already having with spirit. It's happening all the time. And this is just really becoming aware of it and then kind of unlocking it. And so the automatic writing is such a beautiful, easy tool, because all that's required of you is to be quiet. Be quiet and listen. And it's what they say, meditation is, oh, I have it wrong in my head, sorry. It's like prayer is talking to spirit, to God, whatever, and meditation is listening. And so this is our chance to listen to our guides instead of them sending me a dream or an overheard conversation. This is just a real direct line. And so my kids are sensitive. I'm sensitive. Though I'm a medium, it's a professional thing that my soul has intended to do. Just because you learn how to talk to spirit doesn't mean you have to go out and be a professional medium. It's an ability that I think is profound in helping you move forward on your spiritual path much easier. Because if you have a challenge, you're like, hey, listen, I need some help here. And you get an idea in your head or a picture, a thought. I mean, gosh, I think it makes life easier personally. And I'm forever talking to my team. One thing that people get concerned about when it comes to opening up is maybe people coming that they don't want to talk to. And that can happen. Like other loved ones, or maybe you have a loved one that there's a challenge with and you're like, I don't want to talk to them. I always teach, I have a group, Mediumship for the Grieving Heart, where there's a video series that supports this work, that you always have a highest level guide available, or Archangel Michael overseeing your connection. That way, you have a supervisor, so to speak. I call Archangel Michael my BFF and my supervisor. And it's just what I was taught, that it's important to have somebody in spirit that's overseeing your connection. So if you need support, if you need help, they're there right away to support and assist you. So yeah, if you haven't been psychic since you were born, good news. You're still psychic. You're still a medium. You can still talk. It's just a matter of really trusting the process and allowing yourself to open up.
That's beautifully said. And I must say that I discovered that as soon as Morgan passed, that we don't have to be a psychic to be able to experience these things. But Christy is saying, is ringing in the ear a way they communicate? And I immediately responded, because that happens to me every day. But maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
So, what's interesting is that a lot of us have our ideas, or there's like group ideas of what things mean. As far as I know, like the high-pitched ring in the ear that happens for like 5 to 10 seconds. What I understand it to be but other people have other ideas, and it's totally fine. Is that it's like information being downloaded into your energy body. And so it's a frequency being placed in us that we can't understand, but it's like being used for later. So anytime I call a download, so anytime I hear it, I'm like, thank you. I don't know what it is, but apparently I need it. So thank you. Other people, though, have said their loved ones, they'll get a ringing in their ear and they know that it's a certain person coming in also. So it can be, it can mean different things. And I'm just going to always say, trust, like kind of what feels right to you. Oh, I see that 44 all day. 444, 44, that's angels. That means you have the angels with you. So if you're seeing that a lot, they're like, hello, we're right here. They probably want you to connect with them.
That's beautiful. Angie is saying, thank you, Christine. This has been amazing tonight. My question is about signs. When I ask for a sign, I get a word, and within a few hours to sometimes a week, it comes to fruition. Is that, let's see, is it that my son travels ahead and knows something I'm going to encounter? I love these signs. So maybe you could talk about this space-time continuum with the level.
Well, let's get real big here. Okay, so this is my opinion, and this is what I think. And if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, great, no problem. I really believe that our path is set out before us, and we have so many things that are in place. And we can take variations off the path, but it's never off path. And so people get really worried that, they're messing up or they're off. You're not ever off path, in my opinion. But I do believe that we're here. We think there's time. That's a construct of Earth that they can place things in our path, so they know where we're going to be. And what movie is that? I always think of this movie, The Truman Show. Have you guys seen the movie The Truman Show, where Truman is living this life and he thinks it's all that there is, kind of like us. And when Truman needs something, that's placed in his path beforehand by the people around him, and he thinks that, he doesn't realize he's kind of blind to it. And not that I think that we're on some big movie set, but it's kind of like that, like they're placing things in front of our path. The other thing that Spirit has told me, and this is kind of just another take on it, is like if we're wanting to bring something into our life and all of a sudden we have this desire for it, it's on the periphery of our energy and we're already connecting with it. So we're trying to draw it in. But when it comes to the signs and sending things, like they already know where you're going to be. They already know the path. If all of a sudden you feel compelled to go somewhere else, it's because it's them pushing you in that direction. Like, I don't know how many times I've heard of people go, I just got drawn to this store and I don't know why. And the sign of the week was owl or whatever. Right? We play with sign of the week. And all of a sudden, there it is across their path. Or they got compelled to go another way in the grocery store and there was the dime on the ground or something like that. So I love to play with this idea, and I try not to expand people's minds a little bit, that when you learn to channel and you're working with spirit and you hear your kids, and after a while you start to realize you'll be talking and you'll be saying things it doesn't really feel like it's coming through you. You'll start channeling spirit. For me anymore, and I just joke with my team because it's planet Earth and it's a little wonky right now. Like, are any of my thoughts even mine? Because when you can channel and spirit can talk through you, a lot of times you're serving other people and helping other people and you don't even realize it. But we can be easily guided, and we think that it's our own idea. So yeah, they'll give you a thought and they already have it planned out. They already know how it's going to work, and they can already see you having that experience of connecting with that sign too. So, sorry, spirits, I don't know who this happened to. I'm sure it's happened to a number of you, but I had the impression of driving down the road and a car cuts in front of you, and then you see the license plate, and then, there's your message. That's all spirit.
Nancy has the thumbs up. I think that you've hit the nail on the head there. That's wonderful.
Right, right.
There's very little time left, but Natalie's asking a very interesting question. Are telepathy connections between two living people and one living and one past the same feel for you? Would you be able to give us an idea if that's similar?
That's a very interesting question. And I have to think about that for a second. Um, I don't know that I have a whole lot of telepathy with people that are in body. The thoughts will pop in my head, and I do have a knowing sometimes, like I guess I can read people's minds sometimes, or the thoughts come to me because I'm open. I think it feels exactly the same because it really is like a conversation in your mind. And when you hear spirit, it's not generally with your physical ears, it's just you're hearing a conversation going on in your head. Now, some people do get that hearing with their physical ears, and I think that's pretty awesome. I know in my experience, I hear spirit in my mind. It sounds like my own voice, but there's a different energy that goes with it. So I know it's not me.
That's wonderful. Well, I just want to say, Anna is saying, Christine, you and your group have helped me immensely. Um, Delar is saying, thank you. This was a great session. One of the people here, but it says Zoom user, says 281 dimes and counting, which is a lot of dimes to be collecting, obviously. Lana is saying, this has been so helpful. Thank you, Christine, Elizabeth, Irene. I think that let's see, Melissa is saying, I enjoyed every minute, Christine, thank you. And we'll practice this again and again. So one of the wonderful things about this session is that it's been recorded, so you guys can go back to it and maybe be able to redo this with your kids, which is something that's very important. But also, I think this is beautiful what Shauna is saying, lighten up, have fun, enjoy life more, don't take this all so seriously. I think that this is something that all of us should take to heart, because that's the way that our kids want us to be able to move forward and heal, is by understanding that this is all about fun, about finding all of these beautiful signs as we move forward, and that they're holding our hands as we move forward. Maybe in the last couple minutes, 2 minutes, you could just resume or do a resume of what we've talked about, and tell us any tips that you might not have told us before. And we're so excited about having you at the conference too.
I know, it's so fun. Something I do want to share that I'm like, oh God, I hope I have a couple more minutes. One of the things in so many readings, particularly lately, Spirit has said, put life in your life. And it's so important because we're all here in this 3D world with a blindfold on and our ears are plugged and we can't remember, where we really come from and the love that it is. Because from what I understand, we would all just, head right back home. And so we're here for a reason, we're here for growth, but it's so important to live. It's so important to live. I don't know how many young adult kids that I talked to that they lived. They crammed so much into their life that it could have been 70 years worth. And it is sad and it is hard and it is painful. And you're on this particular path with your kids for your spiritual growth. And I know that that's hard to hear. And I know a lot of people say, I wouldn't have chosen this and this is crazy and what have you. But as you get further along and you have more of that connection, you'll start to see the collateral beauty in your experience and how you've grown. And if you're struggling, I would suggest that you just stop and say, okay, what has changed? What silver lining can I find? What has changed? Do I have more love? Do I have more compassion? Am I kinder to myself? Have I grown spiritually? Have I opened up? All of a sudden, oh my gosh, I can see spirit. Like what pieces can you find that you can hold on to that will help bring hope? Because I think that that's really important, to hold on to that hope that it does get better. And it does get better. It can get better. We have to heal. We have to work at it. Time doesn't take care of it. It really is about digging in and seeing what is this experience bringing you, and how is it trying to grow you? And your kids are your cheerleaders. I want to give a shout out to pendulum. For some reason, I don't know who loves the pendulum, but I hear it in my head, like, Christine, tell them, work with work with the pendulums, because it's an easy tool and it just tells the ego to zip it. So next time your ego gets in the way and you start overthinking it and thinking you're making it up, because that's all the ego, I want you to tell your ego, zip it, go away. I don't need your help right now, because you are more than capable of doing this. You're more than capable of talking to your kids. You're just more capable than you know. So they're cheerleading you. But use your pendulums if you have them. If you don't, get one and watch video, because it's a really fun thing. The other thing, another fun tool, is the oracle cards, the mediumship oracle cards. Those are a lot of fun too, because they're visual answers. And as you're working your way along the line of opening up to communicate, sometimes it's really nice to get a physical card that says, I never left you, or I love you, or yeah, yes, I'm sending animals, or whatever. So it's just another tool to help build your confidence as you are on this journey. And it really is a journey. So
That's
there you
beautiful.
go.
And I just want to remind everyone that Christine has a Facebook group called Mediumship for the Grieving Heart. So if you all would like to be able to join that group and participate in the activities that Christine does, then please do so. She will be at our conference, and we're thrilled to have her there, and as well as all of our kids. Our kids are going to be there as well. And if you by any chance do not have you're not registered for the conference, if you don't have a way to get to the conference, we are going to be doing streaming videos. So hopefully all of you will be able to participate with us. And thank you all for being here this evening. We always ask everyone to say thank you and good night to our speakers. So if you'd like to unmute and do so, please do so.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so much.
Christine.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
you.
you.
Good night.
Have a good
Yeah.
night.
Good night,
Great.
everybody.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a great
you.
evening, you guys.
Good night.
Right.
Thank
Bye.
you so much.
Thank you.